Welcome to the ripple effect of love for dads and families. Today we shift to gratitude with Snap, Tap, Zap. I'm excited to be here with you today. I'm Christine Bernat, stress management coach, and much more. And we will look at sometimes, right? Gratitude is nice, but when things are not going the way we would like, we might feel the weight of all the negativity. Whether it's the negativity in the world, the negativity in the house, at work, in the community, that is a possibility. So, how do you shift from feeling weighted down by negativity to getting back to gratitude? So, there are many different ways that you can do that. You can just start by breathing, holding your breath, relaxing your shoulders, and exhaling with the intention of letting it go. You can also sit down with a pen and paper. And if you don't have time to sit down, because with children, we understand that that's not possible, while you take your deep breath in, I'm grateful for, and you continue that sentence. I'm grateful that I had a nice meal today. I'm grateful that start with the simplest basic things and then evolve. And as you calm down, maybe the chaos, especially in the home, will calm down. I've talked to many parents who say, if I'm calm, my kids are calm. I can tell you that as a teacher for 30 years, we knew when there was a storm coming. The children were all over the place. It was much, much harder for them to concentrate. So they could feel that. So that can be a challenge sometimes. Or if we came in and in an emotional turmoil or angry, frustrated, overwhelmed, whatever it was, that negative emotion, the children could feel it as well. I'm not saying every child can, but I'm saying there's quite a few. And it affects the dynamics of the group, of the class when that happens. So in a home, it's the same thing. If you walk in all angry and frustrated, it will affect the rest of the household. So we are responsible for ourselves and taking time to snap, tap, relax those shoulders, and zap out whatever negative emotion you are feeling in that moment so that you can bring your way back to your gratitude, right? Isn't that what you want? Aren't you here following me and listening to this because you want to be part of that ripple effect of love? Love is so important. It warms our hearts, makes us feel good. It gives us confidence. It helps us set boundaries. Love has such an impact on us and on those that we love that it's super important that we stay connected and grounded. And if you're giving out orders to your children or spouse, think first. Snap, tap, and zap that out. Put it onto the spiraling train so that you can release and just be in the moment, calm again, so that you can tune in to your heart and find a way of sharing that information to your loved ones, to yourself first, because when you feel the love in your heart, it is so much easier We all love our beautiful children, don't we? And sometimes, well, they trigger us, right? Of course they do. So, what are you doing to support yourself to get out of the trigger quickly, to get back into that feeling of love that you have for your children and or for your spouse if you're raising with your children with someone? So it's really important to be able to do this so that you can be present for yourself first and foremost. And learning to release the stress and refocus on what truly matters. So, what is it that truly matters to you? Is it being right or is it leading with love? Correct? We all have emotions that carry us and we all have responsibilities. Of course, we do. We are humans. And we also have a special guest here, Mr. Christian Mendez. Welcome, Christian. Oh, all right. You ready? Not sure. Yep. Okay. So, as we release whatever it is that's weighing us down, we can refocus on what truly matters. And I know Christian has talked about this a lot. And his ABCs of snap, tap, zap, or more the ABCs of clap, tap, and
Well,
which is
yeah,
perfect.
without causing more confusion. But see, even then, we talk about how do we release. So when as professionals, we're told our brain processes about 60 to 70,000 thoughts per day, 60 to 70,000 in average. Of
Mm-hmm.
course, for all of those folks, I'm above. Yes, absolutely. And there's some that say, I'd just like to relax most of the time. That's okay too. The emphasis, or even the point of mentioning, is this: we know that there's an average, so it's to speak common, but realistically speaking, is so we have an understanding, so we can give a figure. See, because if we say most of the time, people this and without an actual, then it can even then in itself, as you're listening and absorbing the information, or just listening, you can absorb the information because certain things don't connect the dots. And so I was at an event and happened to see that an individual needed a little bit more assistance, but nobody else could notice. I could notice because of the way that they kind of just slumped and then just kind of reacting or answering, and they weren't rude about it. And funny enough, I'd say funny enough, we were watching the show with the partner last night, and a gentleman that presented himself very strong, and it's a survival show. And I want to bring this up because he was thriving in this survival show in the wilderness. He's very intelligent, but he was missing social cues. Now that I understand that not, well, yes, that even actions, or as we spoke and I yawned, our body just releases when things go, aha moment. There you go. That's exactly it. That's exactly it.
Yes.
And being able to say, hey, pick up pick up anything, pencil, card, whatever it is, and say, yeah, no, not for me today. That's okay. Another pile. This one, yeah, yes, for me today. And because of the ABCs, jump in, jump in.
Because of the ABCs of snap, tap, zap. If you have the card and you're not too sure, why don't you
Mm-hmm.
and ask yourself the question again, is this for today or not? Because the power of choice that we give ourselves. When we're aligned with our mind and our fears, our choices are very, very different than when we're aligned from a place of love from our heart. And sometimes we listen to people who say they know better than we do and do not ask us everything about us to find out what's best and lead us in the wrong direction. So that's why I truly believe you need to connect into your heart first, to follow your heart, so that the choices that you make every day over and over, well, not over and over, but we always make choices, will support you even more to what truly focuses. It will help you focus to what truly matters to you.
And I want to remind folks, what is love? And it's tense feeling, deep affection,
Yep.
deep romantic, other attachments, sexual attachments, whatever it is. Affectionate greetings conveyed to someone on one's behalf. We give her my love. Um, Great interest and pleasure in something, a person or thing that one loves. A couple of other ones here in tennis. Oh, we can't forget tennis, right? Because because we want to be inclusive. Now check that out.
Yeah.
And we want to be why we choose, okay, in in me, okay, I choose inclusivity
Mhm.
because I know what it feels to not be included at some point or form, fashion, otherwise. We
Yes.
understand that as human beings, we want to be accepted, comfortable, and loved.
Yes.
We have many paradigm shifts in even identification because we just want to be accepted, comfort, and loved. And we want to change even how people look at us and how I present myself to the world because I want you to accept me. I want to feel comfortable and I want to feel loved by someone that accepts me and comfortable and loves me for who I am.
That was the key word, because we have a tendency to try things out that we hear in social media, especially teens, right? They're bombarded. You need these shoes. If it's not a Nike shoe, well, you're not cool enough. If it's not this, if it's not that, if you don't have the whatever purse or the, you can tell I'm not a marketing person with all these marks and brands, and I don't buy brands. I buy what I need. If it feels good, if it's soft, if it's that's what I buy. I don't care who made it as long. So it's so important that you tune into your heart to know what it is that you want. Because if you can't accept who you are for who you
That's
are,
it right there. That's it right there.
that's
That's
where
it.
I was going. I got lost
Yeah,
a little
yeah,
bit. But
yeah.
if you can accept yourself for who you are,
Oh,
the right people who will accept you for who you are
oh,
will start showing up. Will you be tested? Yes.
yes,
In my
yes,
personal
yes.
experience, yes. In yours too, Christian. So there you go. However, be strong, be brave, and have that courage to say, oh, I'm being tested. Let me just self regulate. Let me
So
take some
this
pause
is
time.
this is you can see tests as again we talked about a choice between okay, I have another now tool. I am in a different situation, in a different scenario. Now that I've ABCs, right? The one, two, three. Remember, it's the simplicity of it, and that's why I go back to because as Christine can start speaking in French. and the room and the conversation can shift in French, and I would be left out. I can start speaking in English louder, and I can get louder, and I can be as loud as I can be, but it would be only one voice in English compared to a room full of French people. Now, is that going to make me be better understood?
Nope.
No.
And that's the thing, right? Yeah.
So I can choose now to say, hey, room, may I have your attention? In love, in intense feeling of affection, in an attachment to someone. So I'm going to take out any of the other, and I'm just going to leave the core here: affection, attachment. Again, another affectionate, personified, um, interest, pleasure. So I know those are not bad, those are not ill feelings, right? They're positive. It's an affection, it's a romantic, it's an attachment. So if we understand, by people speaking French, I don't speak French fluently, I can say with love and say, hey guys, do any of you speak English, uh, that might be able to help me
Yeah.
learn some of the things or can translate? But if I start speaking louder, that doesn't change anything. If I start getting angry, that doesn't equate to anything else. But again, that is not from love, because I feel unattached. I feel uncomfortable. I feel like, hey, I'm not being heard. So it goes, and that's the reason I'm bringing this from a room is because I want to remind you that every situation is exactly that, a conversation that you can walk into a room that is different language and allow yourself to say, okay, I want to be comfortable in love and I want to portray love. So therefore, that's where we're going. How do we get there? How do we make those decisions? How do we see the contrast? Is exactly that. The simpleness of self regulation, because self regulation allows me to be in control, in management, and understanding in the now.
Yes, it gives you that opportunity to manage your emotions in that moment. And the more you implement it, well, I'm going to ask you a question. Since you've been implementing Snap, Tap, Zap, Christian, is it
This is a good time to say that I have not had but a 3.5-ish session with Miss Christine. I want to make sure that we're honest and trustworthy here. So, because again, I tell you guys, go with the QR code. And I know Christine is busy. We've been busy, but this is exactly why I want to make sure we remind folks that these are professionals that you can reach out to, you can lean on, and just continue on. The reason is because you're mentioning about practicing. So I just wanted to bring that back. Just in
yes,
3 sessions, folks, 3 sessions.
3 sessions plus the lives
Yes,
here? Okay, plus the
absolutely.
lives here
Oh,
because you're
absolutely.
getting value from this as
Oh
well.
no, trust me. No, 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 no. Wait. If we're gonna equate value, listen. Now she went to another one. We're gonna go back to value, because value has been since day one, and it's every conversation, every message, every text, every answer, every email, every phone call, every live. There's definitely immense value, and that's where I'm getting to. That if I wouldn't have shifted from a professional standpoint,
Hmm.
that's where I'm kind of getting to. It's just like a coach. But go ahead. You were asking a question.
I forgot my question. I was just excited about, oh, yes,
In the
I know what
time,
it is. So, since you've started using Snap, Tap, Zap, is it easier for you to implement it almost instantly?
yes, definitely.
In the midst of chaos, in the midst
Yes,
of, can you start
yes,
feeling the anger come up and snap before it takes over who you are?
yes, yes,
And
yes.
that
And so
Yes.
much so much so that that's why I'm going above and beyond, because that, yes, that is who I am. That is with love who I always will be. And gladful because I am extraordinary. I've taken extra on a different level, and I've deposited all of the sun and the energy and the love and everything. So that's a lot of extra into an ordinary, which is definitely equate the extraordinary. I have done that through Snap Tap Zap, through self regulation, and I implemented, even as Christine has says, is in preparedness. The same thing as you get ready for a game, you get ready for a meeting, you get ready for a test. Same thing is, I go to bed and self-regulate before bed. I've taken control back of, yeah, I know that TV is wonderful and clicking through and it's just turning up, but I'm making mindful steps to preparing myself in the mornings when I wake up with my 30 ounces of water and do my squats and exercise. I know that after and before, actually, I've already taken 6 minutes. Yeah, before the morning even water routine, I've taken 6 minutes, because that's what the minimum meditation app that I use, 6 minutes to just calm down, calm, and collect my thoughts, give myself a little bit of extra time, and start out the day in my at my speed, at my comfort level, in my decisions. And I've done that again, yes, because of the small steps that you've shown, the
Mhm.
continuous support that you remind these wonderful folks in this live that we're doing, and it's ongoing, and throughout the day, because again, as you said, it's repetitiveness. And if I feel like, okay, well, this one's easy, I still, and I have, by the way, because I stop, I go, hey, this one's easy, so I won't necessarily tap. But then I go, no, I this one's easy, so I'm going to tap, because when it's easy, yeah, it's easier to communicate for me what I'm really trying to say. And for me to do that, and if I get those looks or those questions, well, boy, that really just sparks a beautiful conversation and extension of, are you okay? Absolutely. How are you doing?
Yeah.
And it's just like, whoa, I thought you were going to lose it, or whatever the situation is, or I saw this or I saw that, and just different things. And so I'm gonna be quiet. And
And we're almost done already. So,
I tell you, I get excited. Listen, I folks, I really I get excited, because there's and Miss Christine Burnett, we're not here to get political or otherwise, but let's be realistic. We have jobs to do, we have careers to, we have parenting, we have loved ones, we have relationships. Yeah.
yeah.
And if we are in a better place, and we can fill up our jug and say, okay, that's where you started off, is, hey, these old rocks don't serve me anymore. Hey, this food that I used to like, I understand it now. It upsets my tummy when I have too much spice, too much sour, too much salt, too much sugar. See, I'm a type 2. So I cannot have that. So I choose not to. Now, does that make you any less, any more? No, simply you are listening more to you, your body, and now your body will work with you more to complement the choices that you're making, because you're being good to it. It will be good in response to you. Just like a calculator, you put in the right numbers and the right calculations, it will give you the correct answers. Um,
Yeah, that's really that's very interesting that you use the calculator and it's an example. And I really like that because Yes, if you're trying to do 2 times 2 and you write 4 plus 4 or 4 plus 10, you are not going to get 2 times 2, the correct answer for 2 times 2. So it's very important to take your steps. And another tip that I have for refocusing on what really matters, on shifting to gratitude.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
also, the snap, tap, zap. Then you can have gratitude for staying calm, for staying centered, grounded with your loved ones. You can have gratitude for so many things. We've talked about journaling. We've talked about the self talk. You can self talk, right? All these ideas. Oh, yes, I've got this. Isn't that? I'm grateful that I was able to use self thought. I'm grateful that I was able to make decisions that aligned with what truly matters to me. I'm grateful that I'm choosing to create a ripple effect of love for my family. I'm grateful. Yes.
Going along with that, it's the same thing as the jar full, representing activities with rocks, pebbles, sand,
Yes.
water even. And we
Yes.
understand the rocks, the bigger important pillars fill up your jar. Well, does that mean there's no room for more rocks? Yes. However, that doesn't mean that there's not enough room for other things, right?
The
So
smaller rocks that you can put
the
in,
pebbles, the
pebbles.
sand, yes, and the water.
And
So
then,
really saying, is the jar full when you drop a bunch of rocks in it? You say, well, yeah, it's full. It's full of rocks. So now with the ABCs, with the Snap Tap Zap, we're going to leave you with Christine, is she can dump those rocks out with you, see which ones now fit in or even align with where you're at
mhm,
in your today situation,
yes,
and really goes back for you, because
yes.
you are the pillar, you are the jar, you are in control. And then you can now say, hey, this rock is now sand, because it is no longer that big of a deal. I've learned to now say this rock doesn't sit here, this rock doesn't even. And so now I have a jar not even half full, and now I'm able to give more of myself to my littles. This is my kiddos, my partners, my coworkers, whatever it is. But again, now I say preparedness is always, and it will always be one of the biggest things in preparedness, in practicing, whatever it is that you want to call it. Take
Yeah.
the time. Yep. Take the time. Reach out to Christine. Self regulation. And if you don't do anything else, then just start the self regulation process. Because again, when you start to lose it and you start breathing, and those folks that have smoked in the past, I'm going to leave that one at the end. They think, and now it's so much easier, right? With vapes and electronics and flavors and juices. Now it doesn't even taste disgusting. I'm not even going to go into that. But here's the point: it's deep breath in, deep breath out, deep breath in, but it's full of toxins. So again, I say that you have choices to make when we are, and then we,
So
of
if you're taking cigarettes or vaping and you are thinking maybe I would like to stop or I've been trying to stop and I can't, what if even while you're doing it, you think of doing snap, tap, zap? Because the habit of doing it often is caused, it's because you have trained your brain to feel calmer when you do that. And because you have trained your brain to feel calmer, you go for the cigarette or the vaping to calm your brain. It's just another addiction I also do addiction release. I have a whole formula for addiction release. I had somebody release their addiction to key lime pie once. That was so funny. She wanted to release her addiction to key lime pie. I've had people release their addiction to anger, okay? Because sometimes it has become an
Hmm.
addiction. So there are so many different ways of releasing these addictions. And I want to leave you with one last time because I was talking about the gratitude. But if you can remember some moments of love that you have felt in the past and bring those sensations into your heart right now, take a deep breath, breathe that in. How did you feel? Some of you might have been months ago, some of you might have been minutes ago, and that's okay. Soak that into your heart. Let it permeate throughout your body so that your brain wants to create more love within you. So I thank you for being here today. And thank you again, Christian, for hopping on with us. And if you are wanting to join the ripple effect of love for dads and families to gain tools and lead with love and clear boundaries in a small group where we support one another, learn how to connect with your children on a deeper level. You want to build lasting memories with your family, the kind that, your children, your spouse will say, wow, those were beautiful. You want to transform how you're parenting and you want to parent differently. Everything is possible once we set our minds to it. What kind of legacy do you want to leave your children? The QR code is there. Book your call now so that we can get you into the group and support you. And of course, in the group, there are a lot more of these, like the addiction. I could have done that with the group. I will not do this on a live because I don't know who's listening to it and it's not appropriate. But when it's a private group, I can do this with you. So until next time, take great care of yourself. And I will see you tomorrow to talk about a little bit more on how gratitude can change so many things in your lives. And please share in the chat below what helps you focus on gratitude when stress